Hey folks, this is Kelani. As we wind down for the end of another expansion, it's pretty typical for everything to slow down. Raiders take it easy, while anyone who gets a little bored takes a break from the game. But there's always something to do, if you look in the right places. Legion has been pretty rough when it comes to keeping an army of alts up to date, but in the long wait until the next expansion starts ramping up properly, you might just find all the time you need to explore a few different classes for a variety of reasons. The next patch also introduces quite a few changes to the way leveling is going to work, so whether you want to get some alts leveled before those changes or wait until everything is shiny new and different, let's have a look at my top 5 reasons to level up a few alts before the next expansion goes live. We already touched on it a little bit, but alts are a fantastic way to break up your gameplay to prevent the world of Warcraft from becoming too monotonous. If you've only been playing one character throughout Legion because of the artifact power grind or maybe the legendary grind, I've got quite a few pieces of good news for you. The first is that most of that doesn't really matter at all going into the next expansion, so I wouldn't worry too much about the artifact power or legendaries on any alt you just want to have a bit of fun on. But if that's just not your style and you absolutely have to work your way up to artifact level 75 and you have to have your best legendaries, that's fine too. Any alts who hit 110 these days are boosted straight up to the maximum artifact knowledge, so if you really wanted to, you could hit 75 without too much effort on your part, as long as you're actually playing the game. On the legendary front, the next patch will also allow you to purchase legendary items for Awakening Essence. So once again, as long as you're playing the game and knocking out a few daily chores on your alts, you'll be well on your way to your best in slot legendaries. Sadly, we can't actually buy the one we want yet, but more legendaries will always be a good thing with how the system has turned out in Legion. So leveling another character could give you a break from your current main for a much needed breath of fresh air, reroll something that you've been interested in, or whatever is topping the meters, pick a class that has different role options than what you usually play. Change it up. I guarantee you'll have some fun if you're getting a little bored, especially if you wait until after patch 735 goes live, because the leveling changes really shake up a leveling process which has been outdated for quite a while now. You can pick and choose where you want to quest, run around with friends almost regardless of level, group up to take on dungeons which actually provide something of a challenge while leveling up. It's almost a new game. If you're getting bored but still want to play WoW, alts could be your answer. But you can get a lot more out of your alts than just a bit of fun. If you've mainly played a DPS role, I would strongly suggest you give tanking or healing a try. Not only will you get to see life from the other side of the fence, but it might instill a better appreciation of what those roles have to go through. As a DPS, you might not think pulling ahead of the tank is a big deal as long as people don't die, but try playing that game from the tank's point of view instead. It can be quite frustrating, especially if your DPS ends up running off and pulling monsters which just end up slowing down your overall progress, even worse if they end up dying and blaming you for not keeping pace. On the healing side of things, you get to see why standing in the fire is still a really bad thing to do, even if you're being kept alive through it. Both tanks and healers make up for so many mistakes that DPS tend to make, and playing the game from the other side can give you a better sense of how to play your DPS characters better. I always thought the best players are the most well-rounded, the ones who can pick up a tank and run with it, swap to a healer and still keep everyone alive, and when they do go DPS, not only do they really crank out that crazy damage, but they also play well mechanically. They know how to avoid mechanics and still DPS. If you end up becoming a better player because you took the time to play around with a few alts, then I'd say that's time very well spent. If you manage to get a few extra characters up to max level, you also open up quite a few interesting doors. Whenever an event comes around on the calendar, you can make use of multiple characters to easily collect whatever rewards you want from the event, be it toys, mounts, or even titles. You can complete the event's daily quests or any dungeons with a daily lockout and collect loot across all of your characters who are eligible for rewards. That means you can have multiple chances per day for things like the Headless Horseman's mount, the Valentine's Day rocket, or the Brewfest mounts. You can also collect currency much faster to purchase event rewards like toys and mounts when they're available from vendors. One character buys the toy, one character buys the mount, and the others buy whatever else you're interested in. Because most everything is account-wide now, it doesn't really matter what character ends up earning these types of rewards. There's also chances to make quite a bit of gold with these events. Any mounts or other event-only items which aren't bind on pickup can be farmed with multiple characters and sold throughout the year. An interesting interesting example is the Winter's Veil event which just passed. If your alts had a level 3 garrison, you could pick up the Christmas daily quests each day. Completing them would eventually yield some savage gifts. These gifts can contain the minion of Grumpus Mount, so the more characters you have completing these dailies, the more mounts you could end up stockpiling to sell throughout the rest of the year. The Christmas event actually had the 300% experience potions until this year as well, which made it incredibly lucrative. Those were removed for some reason, but the Grumpus Mounts was still worth it for a lot of people. Having max level alts creates a lot of opportunity no matter what happens in the game. If one class is particularly good at farming specific monsters or rare spawns, having that class ready to go before the farm spot changes or receives nerfs allows you to take advantage of any type of situation that can come up. It always pays to be prepared. Events aren't the only way to get paid for your trouble leveling up alts though. There's quite a few ways in Legion to make use of alt characters to make quite a bit of gold without too much effort. The easiest way to make gold with any alts you might have at max level is to set up their order hall properly and efficiently to take advantage of the missions which reward gold. So for this your alts will need to be max level and you will need to take them through the whole Argus storyline, which can be a huge pain I know, but it will end up paying for itself time and time again if you manage to get a few characters set up properly. You'll need to go all the way through Argus and get your followers up to 950. You need to go through all that trouble because the best missions only unlock after those quests have been completed. The best gold missions available will reward somewhere in the ballpark of 1000 gold with a bonus reward of 1750 gold. That means each mission is worth between 2.5 and 3000 gold, which might not sound like a lot, but most of my alts get at least one of these missions per day. Some of them get up to 4. When that happens I do a little dance because it's just effortless gold. At the bottom line you can earn 3k per character per day, so if you do your missions every day and you only have one gold mission pop up, you'd end up making just over 20,000 gold per week or 80,000 gold per month. Roughly. That's already half a WoW token on US realms for one character doing practically nothing. Every character you add to your list of order hall gold farmers adds more and more value to those 10 minutes it takes each day to accept completed missions and send out more. If you can't get to your PC for whatever reason on any given day, you can also use the mobile app, which you can use on the go. By the end of the expansion, I fully expect to have all 12 slots on my main server filled with max level characters doing their missions each day. I might end up chilling out with my active gold making when I have all of my alts sorted too. It's really that good. It's the Warlord's Garrison gold farm all over again. Supplying your mission boards can be a little annoying, but make sure you use the Blood of Sargeras shoulder enchant on any character you spend a significant time playing and exchange bloods for order hall resources and you should be good to go. It doesn't have to stop there if you don't want it to though. Having more max level characters means you can have more max level professions, which allows you to make full use of any and every crafting recipe which can make a profit. So many other professions work together in fantastic ways, but you won't be able to take advantage of these shuffles if you don't have enough characters to take up the required professions. It's not always about gold though. Having more alts can help you collect a whole trove of cosmetic rewards too. There's so much content in this game which is locked behind daily or weekly lockouts, be that heroic dungeons or older raids. Heck, some of the newer raids also have some awesome cosmetic rewards. You can get 2 very cool transmogs from Antorus the Burning Throne, the Taishalak sword from Agramar and the scythe from Argus. The more characters you have running those raids, the higher chances of you seeing those items drop for you. That applies to every raid and dungeon from past expansions as well. If you really want the Ashes of Alar mount from the Burning Crusade, you're going to have to take on Kel'Thas Sunstrider again and again and again until it finally drops. Increasing the amount of chances for that mount to drop can significantly reduce the time it takes to actually get the mounts you're after. Once a week really isn't a great deal. That's 52 attempts per year. I know some people who were hunting the Ashes of Alar or even Invincible for years before seeing it drop, simply because they were only trying on one character, and I guess they didn't have the best of luck. And while I know it's never going to be a guaranteed drop, I wonder if they would have seen the mount earlier if they had run those raids a few times on some other characters, just to give them those extra chances. While there's so many mounts that can come from dungeons or raids, something else to collect now is transmog. Imagine putting together the perfect appearance set for your character, but some of the appearances are really rare and come from raids with a weekly lockout. That just won't do. Why not have a few alts run through the same raid as well? Providing they're able to use the piece of gear and for it to count for your transmog wardrobe, you could once again reduce the total amount of time it takes to get your hands on those appearances. Or you could look at this a different way and collect every type of armor instead. I know going from playing my hunter to basically anything else, I had like no transmog options simply because I didn't have any other type of armor. I had been only playing my hunter for so long I missed out on a bunch of super cool transmog pieces which I'm now going back to collect because no matter which character I end up playing, I want them to look as cool as possible, even if they are just gold mission machines. So whether it's to inject a little bit of fun into the game, learn a new role, or increase your overall efficiency when farming any number of things, alts can provide you with a wealth of extra opportunities in the world of Warcraft. So what are you waiting for? Go level up some toons! Oh, right, patch 735. Well, hopefully it's coming very soon. I'll meet you all at the starting line for that one. I can't wait to level up properly with some of the new changes. But that's it for this video. Do you have any plans for leveling up any alts anytime soon? Will you be using them for anything specific or just to have a bit of fun? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.